Hey kings and queens, what's good? Welcome to another amazing video. Today we're going to be discussing why you need to make a manga, 5 tips for beginners. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this.
It's a night time. Hakuna Matata, I got the limits.
So again, I'm Euwarnii Hughes. I'm the CEO of Great Gale and I'm the mangaka for Afrofuturism Manga. Let me get it. BOLDSAGA. And thank you for stopping by this channel. Thank you for watching this channel. And if you're new here, please like, comment, and when you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, ring the bell. You know why? So that when we have more content, more amazing content, you can be notified first. Because this is amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's get into it. Why are we doing this today? We're talking about why you need to make a manga now. Okay, we know that there's so many other forms of comics out there. We know that one of the biggest ones, even the ones I grew up on, were my favorites: Spider-Man, Justice League, all of that. Even DC fandom is going on right now with all their new stories and everything coming out. I saw that they got the Flash trailer, the one for Naomi, Shazam, not even Shazam, Black Adam. All that stuff is coming out now, and it's great. It really is great. There's even great indie comics out there, like even Legacy of the View. So when I made this video, this is not a shot at comics. This is not to say American comics or American comic style is bad, but what we're talking about today is why you need to make a manga now. And I've gone from the American comics. I still read them, I enjoy them, but ever since holding One Piece in my hand, ever since reading manga, it opened up a door of creativity that, oh my gosh, this is just, it's in a level, in a league of its own. And why we're talking about this today is, I know that DC's coming out with the new stuff. I know that Marvel's making a whole bunch of new content, Hawkeye, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, all these great stories with American comics are coming out now, and that's great. But what you want to do is, when you create stories, you don't look at just today, you look at today and tomorrow and into the future, and the relevancy and the potency, and making sure that what you're doing, you're not hopping into an oversaturated market. And I feel American comics, because they've been around for 70, 80 plus years, it's become oversaturated at this point. So here are the top 5 reasons why you need to make a manga now, as soon as possible if you're into creating this. Well, first of all, freedom. When you make a manga, you see like how they have it in DC. Everybody's got their own superhero outfit, they have a masked identity. All that stuff is great, but when it comes to creative freedom, like, look at it, the contrast. Look at that, they're just chilling. They got their, look at that, the ocean, Zolo's chilling, Luffy, Nami, the seagulls, all that. Even when you look at BOLDSAGA, it's just something creatively different. Because when I talk about freedom, when it comes to manga, you don't have to be a superhero. Yes, we know Deku is out there, My Hero Academia killing it. But when it comes to manga, freedom-wise, you can create a story of whatever you want. There was even an anime, it could have been based on a manga, but it said basically, I got kicked out the hero's party, so I have to choose to live a life on my own, or something like that. So, Rising of the Shield Hero, there's BOLDSAGA, there's so many great manga out there, and the benefit again is all about that freedom, that creative freedom. You can do what you want, you can make your hero go on journeys. They don't just have to have some type of secret identity, they can have powers, and those powers help them, and they help them change and all the different things. I don't want to get way into the next topic too early, but again, freedom. Freedom, because your character doesn't have to be just confined to one city. They can be wherever they want. Because in manga, you can have a character written as the hero, as the villain, and going through different adventures, going on journeys. They don't just have to stay in one area, and it's a more freeing experience. They don't just have to be called man at the end or lad or anything else. They can be who you've created them to be, and they can be heroes, not just superheroes, heroes. So that's 1, freedom. Number 2, growth. Growth is one of the top reasons why you need to make a manga now, because we know DC, we know Marvel, all the big companies, they're making all their stories. But here's the thing, guys, here's the thing, kings and queens, when it comes down to it, right? When you see American comics, there are like so many universes, and those characters keep branching off. That's why they have what if, what if this, what if that, because it's the multiverse. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. When a reader is getting into a story, they would like to go from beginning, middle, continuing, end, and then maybe branch off into another thing. All these different multiverses and everything else like that, in a way it's hindering the growth of your character, because okay, you liked Superman maybe from Gods and Monsters when he had the black jacket. That was when he was the coolest in my opinion. That's when he had the most swag. But then it just ends because that's the end of that run. That's in one universe. Then you may like, you know, Batman Beyond. That's one universe. With manga, it's just continuous growth. And the benefit of continuous growth is you can see the world develop, you can see the character develop, you can see the powers develop. It's not that the powers just type of random chain reaction, you know, you don't just have to get bitten with a spider all of a sudden and then out of nowhere you have these powers and now you have to like master them today so that you can protect the city. Come on now. That's why in Bold Saga it's literally a continuous growth. That's why when you look at things like, and this is literally honor having it side by side with One Piece, you can see the continuous growth from the beginning all the way to the new world. So this is amazing. So literally the benefit again is growth. Your characters can grow, the powers can grow, and because there's growth in it, you have more of an emotional investment. This is why manga is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and when it comes to the top 25 creative assets or creative products out there, Shonen Jump is up there in the billions. One Piece is worth 20 billion. Pokemon is worth over 96 billion, or about 96 billion. And the craziest thing, I'll put the stat up where this information is from. That was so astounding because it wasn't an American comic, it wasn't Superman, Batman. One Piece alone literally has outsold Batman. And this is a manga, and again, I'm talking about growth. Your character can grow, because if the character is just stagnant, they just keep looping over and over again, there's no development to them. If you're not growing, the character is dying. That's just how it is creatively, thematically. Yes, you want to have things nostalgia, I can get that, or rewriting it, that's nice, but when you have a character that grows, oh my gosh. One Piece is 1,028 chapters currently. 29 is coming out next week. That's the power of growth. That's the power of manga, because you can write a story for generations. You can write a story for decades. One story or multiple stories, like how JoJo's Bizarre Adventure branches out. Naruto into Boruto. Well, if you like it, teach their own. It's a show of its own. But again, that's number 2, growth. Now number 3, impact. Oh my gosh. Impact is another reason why you need to make a manga right now. Because again, DC Comics, Marvel Comics, they're great, but it's oversaturated, alright? They've got like hundreds of worlds. I think Earth 616 is where Marvel's currently taking place with their story. They've had Crisis on Infinite Earths to rewrite things in the New 52. Look, you don't want to get to the point where you're just changing things in the past to like fit a narrative. You want to make your story have some type of long-term plan, and that's the thing about manga. One Piece, the way how it starts and how it continues, things are set in place so that the story is connected. Even with Bold Saga, the way how it's set up is that things are connected in a strategic line going forward. That leaves an impact in the reader's mind, because they're like, I remember when the character was in chapter 1 and so weak, and now in chapter like 70 they're like, oh my gosh, they're so strong. It's crazy, man, it's crazy. I love it. That's what happens when you have that impact, because you can see just how strong the character has gotten. It feels more earned, and that's what leaves an impact, because readers of this current age, they want to see heroes that they can grow with. They want to see heroes where there's a narrative structure in place, where it's not about headlines being put out in media, it's about character growth, it's about character development. Then you can have what's the word I'm looking for? Fan theories. People are still trying to figure out what the One Piece is. I watched one last night, I was like, yo, that's kind of deep. That would actually make sense, because narrative and thematically, when you integrate all these topics, that's how you can get to the point. That's what you want your fans to have. That's what having manga does. Hey kings and queens, do you love manga? Have you ever wanted to create one of your own? Well, I've got amazing news for you. You can get a free preview of Afrofuturism Manga BOLDSAGA today. And the benefit is that you can get to see what's in this story, get more information, and you can join our mailing list, which gives you behind the scenes information on BOLDSAGA, lets you know more about this series that's changing people's lives, and get exclusive access to content you won't get anywhere else. I mean, this is a story that's so amazing, it's literally a part of the BSP app by Black Sands. #1 indie black publisher in the US. So again, what we can do for you is when you hit the link below and join our mailing list, you can get a free preview of Bold Saga, and you can get exclusive access to amazing deals, offers, discounts, and learn more about our amazing videos that are teaching you in depth how to make a manga on patreon.com/Great Gale. So again, join the mailing list. Look forward to seeing you there. And now, back to the show. So again, we're just going to recap. #1 is going to be freedom, because you want your characters to be free. #2 is going to be that growth, because you want your character to have something where they're moving, where there's actual growth over time. You don't just want it to be stagnant, you want growth. #3 is going to be your impact, because that's what you want to leave the characters, that's what you want to leave your readers wanting more. They have to see something. They have to see something that's going to leave an impression on their mind. You know, that's what it's all about. You want to keep having them come back for more and more and more and more. Let me see, what's a good example of freedom? You know, free like a cloud. You know, nice little icon. Free like a cloud. Free like a cloud in the sky. That's what you want. So these are 3 out of 5. So let's get back to the next 2. Again, continuity. I touched on it a little bit, but do you know what it is to have one manga, one story that just continues and continues and continues and continues, and you can still have your readers and your fan base growing over time for decades? That's what One Piece has done. Again, we're talking about like the best when it comes to this. Over 24 years. That's crazy. 1,028 chapters, that's dedication. I mean, Oda, they say he goes to sleep only 3 hours a day. Can you believe what it is? 21 hours working on your dreams and your goals. And I put in a lot for Bold Saga. I mean, 2 years to release chapter 1. Because of research and everything else. When you have your research, that's the super tip. Research equals success with this manga. This manga series, this manga genre, you need to know what you're talking about. So again, all of that connects into your continuity, because when you have continuity, when you have that ability to have your story, keep going, keep adding things that make sense. You know, you're going from point to point to point to point to point to point. You know, it's like you're connecting the dots. And what you're doing is as you connect those dots, it goes higher. You don't want to end up like Bleach, where you have continuity and then it's not actually helping your story. You're actually like breaking your story structure narratively. You don't want that. You want to have continuity, because continuity equals, it's continuation of growth, but you're making sense of the connections, and then you have a deeper story. That's one of the things I see you don't get with an American comic like the DCs and the Marvels, because after a while that universe is going to switch to another universe. They'll have a story for a couple of while, and then they'll change the writers, and then they'll change the artists. So that's another thing why you need to get into manga, connecting with continuity. Generally speaking, with manga, it's the same mangaka, the artist and the writer, and it's his assistants. Maybe some change, but generally it's the same people. Eiichiro Oda has been working on One Piece, again, for 24 years. I've been working on Bold Saga. Me, and I get my wife, she helps when I get assistance from her. But the point is this, okay? Continuity is what helps you really change the game, because when you have that ability that your reader can see that, wow, he started from here, and now he's like here, over all these chapters, that's the benefit of manga. Oh my gosh, and sales is the last one. I mean, truth be told, so many people want to get into manga now because of the sales, because of the fact that it has the money. But truth be told, you want to go in this order, from freedom to sales. You don't want to start off with the money, because when the money runs out, or if there's, lack for there, life happens, then you can have issues. But the point is this, all right? You want to look at the sales. And when we talk about structurally wise, when you talk about the comic book industry is booming, what's really booming are these manga. Why? Okay, when you look at it simply from just the point of view of size, I mean, not all of them are this size anymore, but like, which would you rather just take with you? And then when we talk about production, when we talk about sales again, most American comics are in color, most manga is in black and white. Okay, there it is again. I mean, yeah, you'll get like the tiny ones like this, but this is like for something that came in, you know, cereal boxes, for example. But again, something about having something bite-sized and easy to read where it's not like stressing, oh my gosh. And again, structurally again is why people keep loving manga, because chapters of manga are like 18 pages, 20 pages. That's easy. A child can read that. I can read that. That's why I love reading manga. So it always keeps you wanting more. So instead of just waiting for like maybe 1, 2, or 3 chapters that come out in a series, even when I looked at Black Sands, they like Americanime, where it's American manga. It's like Afrofuturism Manga. They have 3 chapters in their Ultimate Edition. With One Piece, for example, one volume is like 7 to 10 chapters, so you narratively hook your audience. And on top of all of that, most American comics are separated from the movies, okay? So when you watch an American, like the movies, the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all you want to do is just spend time in the MCU. It doesn't exactly make you want to go back and read the actual comics. I saw the Infinity Saga with Marvel. I didn't really want to go back too deeply. I started it, but then I just stopped. It just didn't click to me. But when it comes to manga, when you see this manga, this One Piece, for example, it makes you want to watch the anime. It just is, because what happens is that everything is in black and white. So then you have this whole gating mechanism where, oh my gosh, this is great. I love seeing Luffy in the first chapter when he was able to do this and that, and I want to see it in color. That's the benefit of it. So your manga pushes you to want to watch the animation. And then they go back and forth. For example, I'll be honest with you. At one point I thought One Piece was too childish because of the artistic choice that the creator made. But then I saw a specific arc in One Piece. And if you know what that arc is, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That literally is amazing. But it's a specific arc when it seems like everything is on the line, when the world is at stake. And seeing that arc and everything that happened in color, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to now go back and reread everything. The last part I stopped up to was basically what was Drum Kingdom. Yeah, because that was when I was watching an Antigua, and then, you know, 4Kids just stopped showing it. But it was Drum Kingdom. Right after that, I just gave up on One Piece because I'm like, this is childish. I go to Bleach. Look at that. I went from One Piece to Bleach. And things reversed, and then I went back from Bleach to One Piece. So what you want to do, again, it's sales. Sales is what's pushing manga, because all of these other factors are involved. It's a free story. This is about pirates, not about superheroes with capes. Not about villains that just going marauding, murdering things. It's about pirates, about freedom. So literally, the narratives that you can push in a manga are completely different. You can tell stories that are completely different. And that's what readers want to see. People are talking about superhero fatigue. And this is why you want to be careful when you just approach just doing American comics. Yes, they're popping, and yes, they have, you know, all of this greatness to them. But you want to look at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is manga is outselling American comics. Not a little bit. Demon Slayer alone was able to outsell the entire, not maybe the entire American comic book industry. I just went to Barnes & Noble's recently, last month, when I looked at the manga section. It was gigantic. And when I looked down for the American comic section, like the graphic novels, that's what they call it, I was like, where are they? I don't remember where they were, to be honest. I mean, I was looking for them to an extent, but I didn't exactly see them. They weren't just on display like it was back in 2003 when I used to go to Barnes & Noble's in the past. The point is that look at the Barnes & Noble's, look at the trends, look around you. Manga is killing it, alright? And now is the perfect time to hop in, especially if you're African, if you're black, if you're in the diaspora. Now is the perfect time, because we need to represent ourselves authentically. This is a billion-dollar industry, kings and queens. Billion-dollar industry. Are we going to continue to let other people dictate how we are represented? Do we need to keep seeing whack excellence over and over? Do we keep needing to see the Usops, the sister crones, the killer bees, where he's always rapping but don't know the 5 elements, where she's based on minstrelsy and that whole overly brutish look of a black woman or man? Do we need Usopp is just, Jesus, that is just so much different things inside of it. But fearful, lying, not connected to your culture, there's so much off. So we need to authentically represent ourselves. But that's just a pin up, back to it. Again, we talking about sales, okay? Sales is what helps sustain the continuation of a story. So again, you need to get into manga now, not in the future when it's oversaturated, and that will come because at this present moment, Cartoon Network is working on their own animes. You know, we have Yasuke, we have Netflix making their own animes with Castlevania. It's gonna bleed into manga sooner or later where other creators that had their own agendas make their own manga. Now is the time to hop in and make your own kings and queens. Now is the time. And if you want to learn more about how to make a manga, because when it talks about manga, Bold Saga is one I've created. And when you see this right here, I write this story, I illustrate the story, I self-publish the story, and I market the story. That's a quadruple threat. Oh my gosh. You need to check out our Patreon. So patreon.com/Great Gale Co, where we will teach you step by step the steps of actually making a manga, because it is possible if you want to do it as a solo creator like me, or if you want to have a team where you have the artist and the writer be one person, and then the business, the marketing, and the self-publishing is another. That's an option as well. Whichever you prefer, which works for you or your team, we got you. So head on over there. We've got the content. It's coming out. Oh my gosh, you don't want to miss this, because this is the time, kings and queens. You want to get in now before it's oversaturated. Don't you want a part of a multi-billion-dollar industry that's outselling American comics? How One Piece in 24 years outsells Superman and Batman, who have been around for, Batman has been around for generations. Jesus. 50 plus 60 years. Like, that's multi-generational. One Piece beat it in a quarter. Not even a generation. Just a little bit over that. Maybe 50-60% of it, one generation, 24 years. You want to get into a niche that's working. Get into it now. And no, I'll clear it up. You don't have to be Japanese to make manga. Again, I am from the Caribbean. I'm Antiguan, and I make a manga. This is the time, kings and queens. This is the time. Now is the time to strike while it's hot. Now is the time to strike while DC's talking about all their stories that they're pushing out again and again and again. Now is the perfect time because they're just rehashing what already exists. Now is the perfect time to jump in and make your own, so that we can see, are there creative stories out there? Because if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So join our family, join Patreon family. You don't want to miss this, because we are literally showing you how to do this, so that one day it won't just be Bold Saga I'm holding. It'll be your story I could be talking about, which is doing amazing. So again, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for thank you for watching this video. Thank you for spending time. Oh my gosh, it means so much to me. And if this content was very helpful to you, if it benefited you, if it made you change your perspective and helped you grow, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about manga versus anime. Do you think I'm right, or do you think I'm wrong? What do you think? What's your perspective? Are you an American style graphic novelist, an American comic creator, or are you a mangaka on the come up? Let me know what you think about all this. And if this was helpful to you, subscribe. Hit the notification bell, hit the bell ringing, so that you can be updated with all of our new content, because I'm literally going to show you step by step how you can enter this multi-billion-dollar industry. And the best part is you can make it from where you are. I'm talking about from America, but the options that I'm talking about, once you understand how to make it, man, not even the sky, the stars are the limit. So again, thank you for watching this video, and oh my gosh, stay tuned until next time. Keep winning, kings and queens. Have a fantastic day.